boy, wow, we had Egyptian, and there was Egyptomania in this country.
There's an old curiosity shop. Every once in a while I go by there for the fond recollections that lie there in that old curiosity shop.
Well, hello folks, I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop. Let's see, it's 7:01 in the morning and I'm on my way to a little flea market, which is in Philadelphia. Now, it's called the Quakertown Flea Market. There is a place in Pennsylvania called Quakertown, of course. But this flea market is just up the street a little bit here along the river. It takes me 2 minutes to get there. Friday mornings, but we'll see. You know, sometimes you just never know what's going to happen. And then after that, I'll go get a cup of coffee, find myself a nice place to sit and do a little work on my laptop, and then something really rare for me, an estate sale. Well, I'm going to go see what happens anyway. I checked the estate sales online last night. This one has a lot of depression glass. Now, you know, we'll have to see, because depending on who's doing the pricing, hopefully they don't have a price guide from 1988. Yeah. So you just never really know with depression glass. Sometimes you can buy it and have room in it to resell it, and sometimes you can't. So we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to take you along for every exciting moment, so stay tuned. Okay, I'm going to shout because there's a lot of construction. I know this doesn't really look like a flea market spot, but if you'll see just in front of me, under that billboard, that's where the flea market is. Now don't hold your breath, but we'll see. Well, okay, there wasn't a whole lot of footage there, but I told you not to get too excited. This flea market runs every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Saturday and Sunday are the best days. Friday, not so good. So, today was not so good. But I did make a purchase, and I am expanding a little bit, you know, trying to push the limits and expand into some things I don't normally buy. I know that there are a lot of collectors of paint by numbers. Yeah, so here's an adorable little family of Siamese kittens. No, well, the mother and the two kittens. And this is looking very 1968 to 1972, somewhere in there. And so there's that one, and it's very nicely done, I think. But wait, remember I said a pair is almost always better than a single? Well, here's a second one. There's Mama and her 3 kittens. I don't know where the 3rd kitten is in this one. So we actually have, oh, you can't see them. Aren't they nice? So here everyone is getting a saucer of milk. And then the 3rd one wandered off. Look at the face on the one trying to play with that ball. Isn't that cute? And the other one is looking up at Mama like, should I or shouldn't I? Can we play? All right, so I have the 2 of these. Now, I did pay $5 for the 2, and I think because there are 2, and actually the glass is back here in these frames behind this cardboard. You don't normally put glass on paintings, but these aren't fine works of art. Paid $5. I think for the pair I can at least get 20 bucks, wouldn't you think, when I go to sell them? I think so. Decoratively, they're pretty nice. Okay, it is now 7:32. I'm off to get a cup of coffee, and then I will cross the bridge into New Jersey. The thrift shops don't open until 9 o'clock, and the estate sale does not start until 10. And I'm not necessarily one of those that gets there at 6 o'clock in the morning, gets my number, and then waits for 3 hours. I just don't really have that kind of time. But we'll see what happens anyway. Okay, let's hit the road.
Good morning.
How are you?
473, babe.
There you go.
Here's this.
Okay, thank you.
Here's this.
Thank you.
You're welcome. $11.86 is left. Have a good day, babe.
You too, thanks a lot. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Woohoo! Listen. You can tell I'm a city kid because I'm not used to hearing birds in the morning. But there they are. Anyway, I'm here. The sale starts at 10 and they don't start giving out numbers until 9 o'clock. It's now 8:30, so I've got 30 minutes to kill. Well, while I'm waiting for this estate sale to open, I'm at this place called Produce Junction. I've never heard of it or seen it before, but look at this. We're gonna try some Cajun peanuts. I got 2 bags. Spice it up. Wow, look at all the Easter flowers. Migniolas. Plums. Okay, everyone, I am so excited. Guess why? I got my ticket. It's not a lottery ticket. And I'm number 5. How did 5 people slip in ahead of me? You know what? If my nemesis is here... Calm down, Scott. She has a right to be here too. Okay, I'm just playing. But I hope she's not here. Anyway, now I have an hour to kill. So I'm going to go see if I can find a post office because I've got some things here I need to ship. Well, okay, I'm back and it's now 9:37. The cars are lined up, but I don't care because I got my ticket. Ha, I'm number 5. I shouldn't do that. Anyway, what I'm going to do is sit here and eat and sample. We're going to do a taste test. These are my Cajun peanuts that I got at that produce place. Now, if you'll notice, it says Swedesboro, New Jersey on there. As you know, New Jersey was first explored, settled by the Swedes, the Dutch, and the Finns, but they took off and the English came in and took over. That's a whole bunch of colonial history. But there is a little town near where I was born called Swedesboro. And so I've already cracked open a couple of these Cajun peanuts. Let's see what's gonna happen. I wonder if my lips are gonna fall off. I'll try not to smack. I've smacked before and gotten complaints.
Oh dear.
A little hint of cayenne pepper. Is that what you Cajuns put on your shrimp and whatnot? Yeah. Okay. I'm getting some flavor. I like these things. Well, I tell you, if I eat too many of these, I am going to be on fire when I get in that estate sale. Look out, Nemesis.
I don't want to pick it up at all those places. Sorry. I don't want to, I'm sorry. That's okay.
Oh, this one?
Yeah, is that what you're looking for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is pretty good. I think she's going to take that. She does look pretty good. Well, she always looks okay, grab that other one for you.
Okay, Don, grab that. Don, it's 75. She was wonderful.
Do 60 on the chair. No, we did 75.
Shadows are falling and nighttime is calling. This is the time for love. Day has just ended, the moon has descended, lighting the sky above. Day seems so long, dear, waiting for you. Moments seem years to me. Nighttime has brought you, daylight has lost you. Would it could always be?
Anywhere for a long time.
These nights, stars in the sky above, moonlight lighting our place of love. Night winds seem to have gone to rest. Cool eyes, brightly with love are gleaming. Come to my arms, my darling, my sweetheart, my own. Vow that you'll love me always and be mine alone. Night, whispering breeze above, kind night, bringing you nearer, dearer and dearer, dear. Deep in the arms
Oops. This pot feels beautiful. Yeah, a lot of them are roasted. Yeah. Really not to that. I would go for $2
Well, okay, everybody, the moment you've probably all been waiting for, the answer to what's up with that? Now, remember this ugly vase I showed you a couple of days ago? Let me tell you what I think. But before I tell you what I think, I'm going to say thank you for participating. I read all of your comments. Some of you had no clue, and some of you cheated and you Googled it. Well, I didn't tell you that that wasn't part of the rules, but we're going to reevaluate that Googling thing after I tell you what I think. I didn't Google it. I kind of just went by my gut feeling on it, and I still haven't Googled it. But here's what I think. Okay, obviously it was something that was inspired by ancient Egypt. We can see the Egyptian figures on it, the pyramids and the iconography. Iconography? The icons. So the first thing I have to say to myself, well, there was a big Egyptian revival that went on either in the early Victorian period or just before 1830s, 40s, 50s. I don't remember, but somewhere in there. You know, when Napoleon was doing his thing in Egypt. Well, the quality is so bad, there's no way that that thing dates to the 1830s, 40s, 50s, or 60s. So let's rule out Victorian. That leads me, as it led many of you, to the discovery of King Tut's tomb in the early 20s. 1922, if I remember. where we see Egyptian motifs in architecture and design. Fits right into the Art Deco period with the pyramids and the geometric figures, the ziggurats and all of that. Oh, and even the silent film stars, they wore all their makeup, many of them in the Egyptian style. So I figured, okay, it looks like a cheap, inexpensive piece of Japanese pottery, probably made in the 1930s. The clovers on there, who knows? Once you start collecting and looking at a lot of those weird things that were made in Japan prior to the Second World War, there doesn't seem to be much rhyme or reason. For instance, I've seen pieces of cheap pottery such as frogs playing banjos. I mean, that doesn't make any sense, so why not clover on Egyptian pottery? Well, there was no mark on the bottom, no sticker to tell us anything. So I just figured it was one of those pieces made in Japan in the early 1930s. Now, some of you mentioned in your comments that it said Orleans on the bottom. And I do know that that was a company that I don't think was doing business in Japan in the 1920s and 30s. I think that's a post-war. Again, I haven't looked at any pictures or Googled anything. So if there is, and if you saw an Orleans sticker on the bottom, it probably looks very 1950s or 60s. If that's the case, it was probably sold in the USA, retailed by the Orleans Company, a company similar to Mapoko or Napco. But we cannot completely rule out that it still might have been manufactured in the 1930s during that Egyptian revival craze. It's possible. Now remember, when we find ourselves in the Second World War, the Japanese items are pulled off of the shelves. Is it possible that there was a warehouse full of those things that the Orleans Company bought in the 1950s, early 60s, and just put their label on it and marketed it after the war? It is possible. Remember, all of that carnival glass made by Northwood and Fenton and Dugan, glass made around 1910, 1920. Many of those pieces wound up in warehouses and then eventually given away at carnivals, hence the name carnival glass. So, it's fun, isn't it? I guess we can basically say we know it's just cheap Japanese pottery. Maybe made in the 1930s, maybe made after the war, but value, not much, but I find it interesting. Now let's go to this Google stuff. I'm adding a new rule to our game. Guess what's up with that? You can't Google stuff. Now the reason I don't have anything against Googling, but what I want me to do, I think it's more fun if we just share our thoughts and our opinions based upon our years of collecting and our knowledge before we just Google stuff. You know, you can't always quickly in a store or at an estate sale or an auction, you can't always Google stuff, and Google isn't always right. So I think it's more interesting, as I said, to start to look at color and texture and form and think about what's going on in history when an item is made and begin to postulate when could this have been made and who could have possibly made it. Let's do that first and then Google it and see if we're right or wrong or even in the ballpark. Okay, so that's the rule going forward. Let's not Google it. I'm not going to Google it either. And half the time I'm wrong. And we'll learn from each other. I think that's more fun, right? Anyway, it's my game and I get to choose the rules, or I'm taking my game board and my pieces and I'm going home. Now, let's go do something else. What did I buy at the estate sale? Well, not much. You know, I had forgotten that on the very first day of estate sales, they have things marked pretty high. At least they did at this one. In fact, most of the stuff was priced way above even antique store prices. So, I only came away with these 3 pieces, but I'm happy. I paid $30 for all 3 pieces, as you see. I'm keeping 1 and I'm selling 2. Okay, the Silver Crest piece here by Fenton with the pink interior is going to be for sale. This green candy dish nut dish with the lid is for sale. So let's see here. Now this obviously is going to glow under a black light. There's uranium in it. What's remarkable about this, no chips, no cracks on that. I find all of the time just the bottom like that, right? Okay, I never find them with lids. Not only do I never find them with lids, but look at all the points, right? All the possibilities to be chipped. And there's not a chip on this thing, even on this wonderful handle here on the top. So this is in no chips, no cracks condition, just needs to be cleaned. And then I'm going to keep this, again, 1930s kitchen glass with the beater on the top. Now obviously it was painted at one time and the paint has all chipped off or someone scrubbed it off. I'm going to restore this and put paint back on it and get all the rust off of it and clean this up. So you'll see this again, and who knows, I might be tempted to part with it. But the 1930s uranium 3-part candy dish and the Fenton piece are both for sale right now in the old curiosity shop. So if you like either one, go take a look. The link for the shop is in the description box below. I had fun today, and I'm so glad you came and joined me. I'm back in the city. Oh my goodness. Okay. That was a lot of fun. Well, that was a lot of fun, but my day isn't over yet. A good friend of mine is remodeling his basement, and I'm on my way over there to lend a hand. But let's introduce the next What's Up With That. Now this is easy. Come on now. Don't Google it. What's up with that? What is it? Who made it? When was it made? This is easy. Okay, that's it. I'm Scott from the Old Curiosity Shop, saying thanks for watching, and so long for now.